Alright, we finished up Heisei.
Finally.
The era of lasers. Showa was the era... Well, Showa was in some ways an era, but Showa was the era of explosions.
And B-roll.
Oh, so much.
So much B-roll.
So much fucking B-roll. I almost feel like at least a quarter of Showa was rewatching Showa in different movies.
This is irrelevant to the point, but that's Gamera for you.
Oh,
like, the last Gamera movie is just B-roll from the other ones. There's a scene with a dam that I think happens in either the first or second movie. And they show this scene 3 or 4 times through the Showa-era Gamera movies.
Nice.
Shot for shot. It sucks. I hate it.
That's awesome. That sounds about as bad as Power Hour. Because Power Hour was like... Showa was the king of B-roll. Power Hour was the fucking god.
I mean, you're not wrong. They reused so much.
It was incredible.
I'm kind of surprised by the end of it they weren't just reusing monsters. Just, no one's gonna notice.
Yeah, no, totally not. But, I mean, to be fair, they actually did that in Showa, where they reused him fighting different monsters that weren't the monsters he was fighting.
Yeah, you know, the one part where... The Gigan movie, specifically.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, what if we used Ghidorah, the 3-headed dragon footage?
Yeah, no.
Or the 3-headed monster. I don't fucking know what Ghidorah's title was at that point.
Anyway. But yeah. So, Heisei, as we learned, would be dominated by lasers. Nothing but lasers. All fighting must be lasers.
It was projectile spamming to the max.
It was like just quarter circle forward and light punch all the time.
Everyone was a zoner.
It was ridiculous.
The other thing we learned is that the save for Biollante, which could be argued with it, everything flew. Everything was a flying enemy.
Everything had air mobility. Super X, all the Super X's, Ghidorah, Mothra, Batra?
Batra was, Batra flies.
Yeah, okay, I was just making sure I got the name right.
Gotcha. Yeah, because you called him Megagearus in the movie.
Yeah!
You're like, yeah, it's Megagearus. I've never seen Marvel Megagearus.
Shut up.
I'm just sitting like, do I tell him?
Yeah,
Super Mechagodzilla flew.
Even Mechagodzilla OG, or Mechagodzilla 2, quote-unquote, flew. Space Godzilla flew, had a whole flying form, it was really dumb, floated even, and Destoroyah flew, because it had giant fucking wings.
Yeah, it had its own flying form
and
as well.
also a flying form, because fuck you. So, I guess we'll start off with, okay, we need to have a discussion.
Oh no.
It won't change the average, but are we willing to give Biollante a better Monster Combat score? Because holy fucking shit, compared to the garbage that we got later...
I mean, I am willing to throw a different number at it with an asterisk.
Yeah, because
Biollante got shafted. Like, we were unimpressed with what was in the well, I wouldn't say unimpressed, but like, it was, the combat seemed lacking, and then everything else happened, and it was just like, what happened here?
Yeah, it was so bad, and we were just forced to give well, we weren't forced, because we gave Mechagodzilla 2 a 5. For the beamiest of the beams.
I mean, at least with that one... No.
It was nothing. It was
Well,
so...
Rodan was in it.
It was...
Rodan did a thing. He's clawed or something.
He pecked at things like he normally does. I mean, it was slightly better than it used to be, but then they gave Rodan a beam. It was nothing but beams to the point where there was a Skittles joke because it was just taste the fucking rainbow, all the beams.
Yeah, no, Super Mecha Beam got going.
And then the climax of the whole goddamn thing was Rodan giving himself up so that Godzilla could shoot a better beam.
Yeah.
Fuck this series for the beams.
What did Mothra get? Was that also like a 5? Because that one was beamy as well.
That was a 4.
Okay.
Because fuck it. Even though there was like a grab, quote unquote, there
was a part where like Batra grabbed the Ferris wheel.
There was the Ferris wheel, but there was also like the lifting Godzilla, but that wasn't a move, that was just moving Godzilla.
There was the lifting of Larval Batra, which was the same grab that he had done to Ghidorah.
Yeah, which was lazy and
everybody
dumb.
else.
Yeah, no. Whereas Biollante had, like, he had to interact with all the tentacles and stuff, and it was beamy.
I mean, at least Biollante didn't just shoot beams. It shot acid.
It shot acid out, but that was like a climax. It was a big move for Biollante to use, and it was used once.
Yeah, and the acid also had effects.
Yes.
Like, it literally burned Godzilla.
Yeah. So, what I'm going to say is that this change will not affect the average, but it will affect the total going forward for its placement. So it's at 30 right now. I would be willing to throw it a 6 for Monster Combat to at least put it at the top of Heisei. It was not incredible, but it was better than most.
It was better than almost everything that came after it. So yeah, 6 is fair.
Because that would still put it below Destoroyah, which I would definitely agree. And that would put it at 32, tied with Destoroyah, and tied for second place.
I feel like that's a fair.
Because Biollante was great. Biollante is still my favorite watch other than Megalon, and it's my favorite because it was funny and it was fun to watch, and the stupid surprises were fun. Like, Megalon was a crazy ride. Biollante was just fun and hilarious, and like I'll reminisce when we go through.
No, it's fine. Just keep going.
And no,
you're on your train of thought now.
Okay, well, now I'm off. So
okay,
we'll come back. We'll circle back around to it. So, because it's not that far away anyway. But yeah, so yeah, Biollante now up to a modified 6 for Monster Combat because it was better than we gave it credit for compared to everything else. But yeah, so the average for the series was 27.5, which is like over 5 points more than the average for Showa, which was of course painfully skewed by 3 movies.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
If we took away those 3 movies, which were very much outliers, it would probably drop a good, 4 or 5 points.
Oh, I'm sure it would.
It would sink below 20.
Yeah, because I don't recall too many getting above 20 to begin with.
Yeah. Whereas Heisei was definitely of better quality.
It was definitely more consistent, even if the quality felt like it was dipping. Like, it was... It's a weird roller coaster. Like, it went up and then just kind of gradually came down and then shot up at the end.
Yeah. And yeah. So all right, let's I guess we'll go back into reminiscence. 84. So, I'll be honest, 84 doesn't really stick with me. The only parts were like the weird interactions with like the main character guy and the doctor who is like trying to create like the sound thing or the magnetic thing that was supposed to attract Godzilla.
You know that's more than that sticks with me. Cause like the only things I really remember are still the building scene where they're like, back away from the window, we're gonna break it.
Yeah.
And then just like, you send the doctor up and bye. and then obviously the Godzilla love theme.
Yes, the Godzilla love theme is like the thing that sticks out. And of course it's in the special mention, and it was just like so dumb. And yeah, it was just it made the ending better.
Yeah.
Because honestly that movie 84 wasn't that good.
No, it was kind of bland at times, and that's kind of because Godzilla didn't really have much to do aside from look for his collectible figures.
Yep.
Which we made several jokes at throughout the Heisei.
Yeah. Although it doesn't compare to the grand old time that was Biollante. This is to me the shining gem of like I had a blast watching Biollante for similar reasons that I had a blast watching Megalon, where it was just absolutely dumb. And but whereas like with versus Megalon, I feel like I had a bias.
I
going
mean,
into
we
it.
kind of did with Jet Jaguar.
Jet Jaguar was always gonna
Like we knew we were gonna be giving it higher points because Jet Jaguar interacts with things.
but like I wasn't prepared for how dumb Jet Jaguar was gonna be. I also was completely unprepared for how dumb Biollante was.
I was completely unaware, unprepared for just how dumb Megalon was, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking Megalon was a bit more serious, and then, he was just a big fucking hopping bug.
Yeah, no, and like sliding down water slides. But, yeah, Biollante, it was dumb, it was crazy, and then they gave us the gift of Nobel Prize winners semen. And it was just like, it was the gift that kept on giving as the movie was also incredibly dumb and crazy, where they're just randomly like breaking into a fucking like...
Well, they broke into the guy's lab.
Well, there's the breaking into the lab, which was hilarious, and there was the spies on spies, and there was also the random cop duo breaking in to steal back the bacteria with the guy yelling at them, "What do you want?"
Oh, you can't forget how it opens with the rated PG for typical Godzilla violence. And then it's just guns.
It's just people with guns. Not even aliens with laser guns and their laser dildos. It was just people with guns. And then those people with guns get taken out by another guy with guns. And then we watch a lab explode. And it's just craziness top to bottom. And we had the fucking joke about the DG cells and and then the semen just like got everywhere, and Biollante was just crazy, and its evolution was like ridiculous, and I will never get over like, and then Biollante rained from the sky, and I'm like, that's stupid, that's not gonna, and then golden sprinkles fall from the sky, and I'm just like, oh my god, and then it stops, and then Biollante bursts from the ground, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then we have to end on the fucking scientist giving a speech about how science is evil. And then he gets shot because that's what he deserves.
I don't know, I'm still a big fan of them ending Biolante's saga with, and then Biolante went to space, and it's just the picture of the daughter just superimposed over the spores.
Oh my god. And then they're like, we shot him with the special bacteria, but Godzilla's cold-blooded. How do we fix it? And it's like, we made a weather controlling system. And then you're like, Cobra's weather dominator? And I was like, this is dumb. And then we just kept talking about the weather dominator.
Yeah, because Manila, the higher being, was up there, and she's like, lightning bolt! Lightning bolt! Dad, take these lightning bolts!
Oh my god.
And Godzilla's like, no, that's gonna warm me up, and then the bacteria's gonna work. Oh no, and then he just falls over.
Oh yeah, no, and then he literally face plants into the water as it's fucking working, and it's just like, and then after the stupidity of the daughter and zapping the Sarabian spy out of the movie with the weather dominator, we have to end as the credits zoom out to planet Earth, and there's a rose in space. And it's just the perfect cherry on top of this stupid fucking movie that would just, it's just a chef's kiss. It's just the final bit of spice to just end it, and it was just a good time.
Yeah, it was great.
And then we moved on to versus King Ghidorah.
And this one's just kind of weird because you're like, what if there was time travel? It's like, don't do that. What if we left these cute little Dorats here? I'm sorry, those weren't cute. Those were greasy baby gremlins, and I didn't like them.
But I mean, but the time travel got us to watch Americans fighting a Godzillasaurus and having a man yell out, "They're getting our boys!" or he's getting our boys. I don't fucking know.
I love that, man.
And then there's the random helicopter pilot with the southern accent who has one line, and we don't remember what his line was because it was so quick. I almost want to rewatch it just to get that one line, because that random southern accent on that helicopter pilot deserves to be immortalized as he exploded for no reason.
King Ghidorah was the one with the fucking android, right?
Yeah.
The $6 million android.
The $6 million android with ice skates. It had the jet packs that just had people being randomly skirted across the screen.
I mean, the best one is still when he runs really fast and he just looks over the camera like, yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Or he stops the car by just putting his hands out.
He wants me to come with him, so put down the car, I'll come with you. Okay.
Oh my god. And then we fix him by taking out his GameCube disc.
I just immediately had a flashback to the end where they're like, but I want to be with you. By the way, you're my ancestor, bye!
Yeah, and then he turns over to the lady who's like, who previously in the movie said, "I'll marry you if your book is good," and goes like, "You'll do."
Well, we gotta get there somehow.
Indeed. Fucking, and then literally going into the future to be like, we'll build a better one. And they come back with Mecha King Ghidorah, and I just remember being like, this is fucking stupid. Because you were like, from the future! And I was like, I don't... what? Alright, whatever.
Yeah, so for a little context on that one, we were playing 2015 the game, and Mecha King Ghidorah shows up, and they played his intro for that one, and it's like, from the future, and you're like, is that real? I'm like, no, I swear. No.
And I was just like,
and I'm sitting there in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, I hope he doesn't remember me saying that. Nope. I want that to be a surprise.
No fucking clue. And just like, and what's sad is that even Mecha King Ghidorah loses just as hard.
Yeah, Mecha King Ghidorah just kind of gets bodied. Like, Godzilla's like, no, I know what you're about.
It's really bad.
I beat you like 10 minutes ago, dude. What the fuck?
Yep.
Oh, you've got gravity beams too? I don't care.
Nope.
And then, like, he gets picked up and they drop him in the water.
Yep.
They're like, case closed.
Guess that works. And then we moved on to Mothra Battle for Earth, which, it's just the egg adventure all over again, to the point where we're buying the egg again.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you're kidding, right?
No.
We're just doing this over again?
Yeah.
But without an Eggman, which was sad. Instead, we got the horrible CEO who would declare war on the Earth itself.
You know, come to think of it, I think almost every Mothra incarnation has Mothra being bought at some point. Like, I think almost every single one, somebody is trying to buy Mothra.
Jeez.
Because I think even in her movie,
oh no,
she's being bought.
That's fucking dumb. I mean, I guess it's the way to, like, it's greasy, evil capitalism.
But, like, they do it in the Monsterverse, too. I mean, I guess it's not really...
No.
Not, like, trading money. It's just like, we're gonna go capture that one. That one's ours.
Well, but they don't capture Mothra.
They attempt to. And
No,
then Mothra, and then Mothra gets out and is like, waterfall.
No. What happens is they try and use the monster device on Mothra.
And then the dudes show up.
Oh.
And they're like, that's what they want you to think. I guess they aren't really. They're like, they want you to think that they're going after Mothra, so that we go there and they go collect somebody else.
Mm.
So I guess technically not being bought anyway.
Either way, yeah. So, and then Batra's a thing, and larval Batra's ridiculous, but nothing compares to larval Mothra bulldozing through everything to get to the small beauties, and then as they reassure Mothra and tell her it's okay, she proceeds to turn around and bulldoze through more buildings.
Mothra, don't hurt anybody else.
Gotcha.
All right.
It's fucking incredible. But yeah, and then
This Capitol building. This looks like a good place to just shoot my silk.
Yep, no, just like crush parts of the building, set up shop, and then awkwardly, painfully try and get out of the cocoon as everyone just watches. It's like, guys, I could use some help. Guys, please? Really? Fuck. Anyway. Then Mechagodzilla 2.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. As high of a score as this got, I don't remember much of anything. Other than Baby.
Let's see. They found the Mecha King Ghidorah, and they're like, "This is how we're gonna make an anti-Godzilla weapon." And then they looked at the guy making the super plane, and they're like, "That's stupid."
Fuck the Garuda.
And he's just like, "No, it's pterodactyls. Pterodactyls are cool.
Totally.
Me and my pterodactyl bike. Here we go."
Alright, yeah, it's starting to come back to me now.
Oh man, you guys found a pterodactyl egg? Radon, he's here!
Fucking Radon.
They're like brothers. They came out of the same nest.
Fucking hell.
They have a bond.
Yeah. Fucking Radon. Baby was infinitely better than any Manila.
Yeah. Because like they didn't really like put him in the front of the movie. Like all of his best scenes came from him being in the background.
Yeah, and
like the part where he stole some slippers.
He's just chewing on shoes. This is a goofy time, and I do. Having re-listened to the podcast we did on it, I almost wish the bonus points went to the baby grease. Because it came out all slimy, and then he was randomly, like, cleaned
I
up.
told you.
And then as Godzilla attacks, everyone's running out of the building, but they're slipping, sliding, and everything else is slipping and sliding, and it's like, did you just, like, freshly wax these floors? What the fuck? Everyone's just like, can't get a grip. And then you made the joke about the baby grease. They grease the floors with the baby slime, and
just roll baby Godzilla around, whatever. gotta get that grease off somehow.
And then just like the idea that everyone's slipping and sliding on the goo that baby Godzilla was fucking covered in. It was just hilarious to me. But, I mean, yeah, and the point went to baby, which was fine.
It's close enough to what I wanted.
And just fucking taste the rainbow on this movie. Just every color beam. Every beam you could possibly want. I believe piss beams were involved. It was just...
I mean, it was coming out of the navel, but it was close enough.
It was close enough, and it was bright yellow. So yes, it was a fucking piss beam. And then the one I was actually looking forward to the most was Space Godzilla. And man...
It disappointed on so many levels.
It was just... nothing. Like, the plot was dumb.
What if Godzilla came from space and had a vendetta, but he didn't actually have a vendetta?
But, like, it opens on Space Godzilla approaching the planet, and you're like, we're really just gonna, like, slap the audience in the face with Space Godzilla and just proceed from that point? Like, it ruined the introduction of the villain. Like, the beautiful part about Biollante was that the beautiful part about Biollante and Destoroyah was that they had multiple forms. They slowly came into their forms, as opposed to just, like, Base Godzilla.
Here he is. That's what he looks like.
Yep.
Looks kind of like Godzilla huddled up with crystals.
Pretty much.
Yeehaw.
Yep.
That and, like, everything Space Godzilla did is just like, okay, what? Who cares? You're just firing beams and projectiles. You're just a zoner.
Just blasting Godzilla with the JO crystals and all that positive energy from the sesh. It was just...
And somehow Mogera, for me, was the highlight of that movie.
Yeah.
Because Mogera could do things, and I hate Mogera.
Mogera felt more effective than even Mechagodzilla, despite the fact that I think Mechagodzilla was technically more effective because it actually, like, took out Godzilla. The only reason Godzilla came back.
They only took out Godzilla because, like, they had a psychic on board, and they said, and the psychic's like, yo, his ass brain is by his ass. Get it.
Blow it up.
And, like, that's the only reason Super Mechagodzilla did anything.
Yeah. But, and also, Mechagodzilla was just like, okay, we've seen this before. We've seen it twice before.
Yeah.
Who cares? Whereas Mogera, at least for us, was new.
Vaguely.
Yeah. And it was slightly more interesting than Mechagodzilla was. But there were, like, callbacks to characters that... There was callbacks to characters from Biollante, and it was like, man, I haven't seen Biollante in, like, a month.
Yeah, there was a 2-week difference in recording sessions.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. Life circumstances happened, which unfortunately may have contributed to, like, the lack of impact that some of the callbacks had. I
don't think it did. Because, like, the only callback, like, they're like, well, maybe it's from Biollante, maybe it's from Mothra. Fuck, who knows?
Well, I actually thought the callback to like, oh, it's this guy that died is motivating these two characters. It's like, that would have had more impact.
Oh yeah, that was a callback. I forgot about that.
Yeah, if that had been, like, the ragged guy was from Biollante. I just didn't recognize him because it'd been so freaking long since I've seen it.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was meant to have more impact. But the sad part is that when you think about it in its own context, those movies were several years apart.
Yeah, 89 and 94.
We watched these movies maybe a month apart.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, you know what would happen is, like, when the movies would come out in Japan, they were like, okay, gotta watch all of them on VHS. Get back up to speed.
I don't know anyone who actually does that.
In Japan.
That's like saying, oh, a new Star Wars movie is coming out. Time to watch every Star Wars movie in order.
I did that.
I did not.
When 7 came out, Aaron and I sat down.
Well, yeah, when 7 came out, like, that makes sense. But, like, I'm saying, like, 8's coming out. Time to watch every single Star Wars movie.
No.
Oh, and now 9's coming out. Time to watch every Star Wars. Like, yeah. No.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
But, yeah. And then, of course...
The second crowning jewel.
We arrive at Destoroyah, a legitimately good movie. No, like, the characters aren't quite on the level of Astro Monster, but that's because Astro Monster was an intelligent movie surrounded by stupidity.
Yeah.
Whereas Destoroyah was a somewhat intelligent movie surrounded by relatively competent movies, so it didn't really stand out in that way as much. But what did stand out was honestly the monster combat being good.
Yeah, having some impact. That wasn't just a different shade of beam.
Yeah. Oh no, there's a minty spiral around this new beam. Great.
Wow, it looks like yellow lightning. Woo!
Yay, and it does like weird spirals, so it's slightly different than Ghidorah's gravity beams. Crazy fucking Corona beams, fucking dumb. But yeah, Destoroyah was just I was having a good time watching it.
Yeah, it wasn't putting me to sleep like Space Godzilla.
And I wanted to follow the plot because it had bits and pieces, crumbs and threads that followed through, and it made sense, and it was complicated enough that there was something to chew on, but it was a straightforward line that you could follow.
Yeah.
And granted, there were some smash cuts that were kind of dumb.
But not as egregious as Space Godzilla.
Space Godzilla was awful for that. Just cuts that made no goddamn sense, where we accidentally picked out a guy being the villain because he got smash cut from Space Godzilla destroying Mogera to him smiling and getting ready to fuck up the psychic lady.
Yeah, that was great.
It was dumb. Fucking Chinnigan. Chinnigan the evilest. And his massive underbite. But anyway, Destoroyah was just good.
Yeah.
Biollante was hilarious. Destoroyah was just a good movie.
I probably said it in the episode, but definitely the build up to Destoroyah. Like, what's he gonna be?
Yeah.
He's not gonna be these little tiny crab things the whole movie, is he? Because how is he gonna fight Godzilla? And then it's just, no, they're assembling.
They've assembled into a bigger version of what they did, and then they turn into a flying version, and then we get the final reveal, and it's like, oh, this is serious. And then he bitch slaps Godzilla. And...
yeah, just his introduction is him bitch slapping Godzilla and abducting Godzilla Jr.
It was just like, yeah, no, this was like Space Godzilla, but better.
It's like this is how you make an introduction.
And it didn't require a Fortress of Solitude to pull off how awesome Destroyer was.
Yeah.
Because Space Godzilla felt like a lot of fluff for a monster that wasn't that impressive.
He did a lot of just standing there and posturing.
Yeah.
And then
but like
Destroyer got into the thick of things, and he wasn't a beam boy. He was a very much, I'm gonna slash you.
Yeah.
Or grab you and drag you around town.
Yeah. So,
I mean, he was a beam boy in his younger days. Yeah. But then when he grew up, he matured a bit.
But even in his younger days, like his smaller counterparts, they had physical attacks, and they did bulldoze people through walls. So, I mean...
ramming speed.
It was great. Every part of Destroyer, and then reverting back to the minis, or the slightly smaller ones, to Swarm Godzilla was also good.
Yeah, that's only one. That's like one of the few times to drop the ball, because it's just, where did they go? How did Godzilla deal with them?
Okay, I like that it reverted back to the small ones. It is really weird that it just, like, there's no resolution to how Godzilla dealt with that. Like, it was like a scene was cut.
Yeah.
It was weird. But yeah, Heisei, the era of lasers.
And flying.
The era of flying lasers.
Well, I mean, yeah, throughout the whole thing it felt consistent, like, in quality, so...
Yeah. It was, you know, here's the thing. When I look back on Showa, I kind of love it because of how stupid it was.
They weren't afraid to get messy.
Whereas, I'll be honest, I didn't enjoy my time at Heisei as much. Because while Biollante and Destroyer were awesome, the middle was so middling that it almost doesn't leave an impact. It's almost better that there was utter garbage in Showa than there was just, like, middling okay.
I mean,
like there was nothing to
you wouldn't say that about Heisei if between, say, Ghidorah and Mothra there was a Manila trilogy. A Manilogy. Of movies of that quality.
But, like...
I don't think you'd be asking for, like, can we at least get the Manilogy back?
It's not necessarily that I wanted more garbage. It's that the fact that so much of Heisei was, like, acceptable and there was nothing to complain about, I think was almost worse.
I don't know. I'll take Heisei over Showa any day.
Man, I'll be honest. I would rather watch not... I would never accept anything over Raids Again, but I would watch Destroy All Monsters over, King Ghidorah or Mothra.
I don't know. I feel like the only thing in Showa worth going back to is Jet Jaguar. And that's a huge bias.
I mean, I don't know. I take a lot of the garbage.
Oh, right, and Astro Monster. Astro Monster's worth going back to.
I take a lot of garbage in Showa over, like, 84. Just because the garbage is hilarious, whereas 84 is just...
So, like, would you watch Gigan over 84?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, okay, so it seems like we're rounding down here.
Yeah.
Where would we place this Godzilla on the tier list? Because, so while he does get the size, the same size as a Power Hour. Like, okay, so first things first, this one would easily destroy Showa.
Yeah, no problem.
Like, he's got the size advantage, and then,
Even 84 Godzilla would take Showa.
But the real question is, does he beat Power Hour? I'm honestly feeling Power Hour still takes it. And that's because the eye lasers.
The reason why Power Hour won over Showa was because Power Hour was shown to be... he converts... The way he just absorbs radiation is so much more present than, like... It's the functionality of how Godzilla absorbs radiation and converts it into power. And just raw energy is his power. Yeah. You hit him with any form of energy and it converts it into power. Whereas, like, the thing was that Showa Godzilla was not shown to in any way be able to take anything and convert it into power. Whereas now in Heisei we finally have, you feed this thing too much fucking radiation, it's gonna melt down.
The biggest point I want to make about the eye lasers is that they're magic essentially. They just break radiation down.
Oh god, yeah, you're right. I forgot the anti-radiation eye lasers.
And so specifically 84 and Biollante, Heisei Godzilla is incredibly weak to being deradiated.
Oh yeah, because that's everything about it.
I don't know if that weakness follows through after Ghidorah.
Yeah, because the new Godzilla is...
Because not only does he gain 20 meters or some nonsense like that, he's bigger. He's way bigger.
Yeah.
But, like, he also gets a bit stronger because, he's swimming through plates and shit to climb out of a volcano.
Yeah.
But, Power Hour did that as well, so... Probably about the same feats there.
Yeah, no. It's really sad that the eye lasers just basically get to be a magic catch-all. But I think Heisei Godzilla post Ghidorah, post time travel shenanigans, has been shown to break even thing like the fact that Burning Godzilla defeated Destroya, who is using the literal power of the Oxygen Destroyer, I think shows that this Godzilla is on a level of radioactive power that would break even the anti-radiation lasers. I'm pretty sure this Godzilla, at least in burning form, would take it.
Alright.
It would just utterly overpower Power Hour Godzilla.
Because, yeah, it's not like I can think of too many feats of, like... Because, Power Hour Godzilla was literally fighting plates. Like, tectonic plates and shit in that one episode. So
Yeah.
He was at least holding them back.
Yeah.
He was just down there like, whatever.
Yeah, that was fucking dumb. But that could also be chalked up to, like, it's just a collapsing fault, which is not really... Depending on the type of fault, it's not the plates, but
Then it's such an outlier that, like, he doesn't do anything else like that.
No.
The only other time is, I think, that same episode where he's just like, well, climbing through a volcano, whatever.
Yeah, no, and there's parts where he loses to really dumb stuff. Where he was gonna get fucked up by the magnetic beast. Or the magnetic terror.
That's because he was big! He was incredibly big!
Well, yeah, but...
He got juiced by the South Pole!
Oh, it was so fucking dumb. And, like, seeing Godzilla getting, like, sucked in. Oh, that was dumb.
So Burning Godzilla beats Power Hour. But where does...
Regular Heisei Godzilla?
Where does post-Ghidorah, pre-Destroya fit? Because I feel like he's probably still got that radiation weakness where just he can easily get depowered. Especially if that...
Is it pre or post Spiral Beam?
Well, he didn't use the Spiral Beam in... or he didn't use the red beam in Space Godzilla. So
no, he did.
Did he?
He used the Spiral Beam at one point.
Oh.
It was used as like a finisher or something.
Gotcha.
Because he has that element after Rodan sacrificed himself. Because I still feel like pre that stuff, it just feels like Godzilla just continues to... Heisei Godzilla is fundamentally broken, but it gets revealed over time how broken it is.
Alright.
So I feel like the potential of burning Godzilla is always there after the Ghidorah skip, and it's clear that... Because the other problem is that you have to keep in mind that Godzilla is, in Heisei, a factory for radiation.
Right. He's got the whole reactor thing going on.
Yeah, so
you probably couldn't just shoot that with a couple beams and be like, well, done.
Yeah, I mean, but the show would want to give the logic in order to Deus Ex Machina it, but I think you have to keep... You have to apply at least a certain amount of realism to it to just be like, it's not actually magic.
Well, I'm just saying it's magic because it's plot convenience.
Well, it's plot convenience, but you have to keep in mind, like, it can't always be plot convenient, especially when we have to pit these guys against each other. So,
yeah.
I think Heisei would take it just that much. So, I think Heisei would have to be number one.
Alright, so I'm going to include them as 3 different Godzillas, specifically.
Okay.
So I'm going to put Burning Godzilla top tier.
Oh, easily.
Heisei post Ghidorah
Mm-hmm.
as second.
Then Power Hour.
Power Hour, and then Heisei pre Ghidorah.
Yeah. And then Showa garbage.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Unfortunate, but... I mean, just look at Showa era Godzilla. It's a joke.
I mean, yeah, like...
Every single new form of it. There's like 6 or 7. No. There's at least like 4 or 5 different Godzilla.
Like costumes? Yeah, there's quite a few. Alright, so we got our tier list, we got our reminiscing done.
Yep.
It's time to go to America. See you guys next week.
God damn it.